Network without being weird. Now, networking was always, and still kind of is, a weak spot for me. I always try to make sure that I'm reaching out to people these days. I'm doing much better here on YouTube with you guys than I did years ago in person. A lot of times I would go to networking events and there was loud music and big crowds of people, and it was always hard for me to break through to network. I was always better in small groups, but here in Los Angeles, the networking space or environment was always big crowds. Everyone wanted it to pretend like they were at a party instead of going there to really network and talk to people and see what they're working on, to see if there was a possibility of collaboration. Back in the early days, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I would even do advertising in local trade papers to meet people to network with, one-on-one. And I made some really good connections that way. But times have changed, and you guys have the internet, and you can do a lot of networking here on the internet. There are a lot of groups where you meet people who have the same interest as you as far as in the film business or the entertainment business, any kind of, even in the business world. You can meet people who have the same job you do, people who work in the same industry, people who are starting out, people who have been in it for years. Networking is the way to advance. I know a lot of people are shy. They don't like speaking in public. They don't like even speaking in small crowds. But if you really want to advance and you like the business you're in, and that is your goal to move up in that business, networking is key to moving up. Stop networking and make relationships. That's the key. My wife used to always tell me that in the early days when I'd network. People can smell desperation, or if someone is, potentially going to be a problem. You don't want that feeling to come off of you. You want to build relationships with people who you want to work with. And that's something that I learned quickly. She pointed that out to me, and I realized that didn't make sense, because I thought on the other side of it, on the other shoe, when people would try to network to me, the people who had that desperate feel or that you got to help me or I'm going to die kind of feeling, you didn't want to work with them because you don't want to let people down, and you can't help everybody. And sometimes people aren't ready to network, as maybe their work is not up to where you want to refer them to someone, and you want to try to tell them in a kind way, or you want to guide them onto how to make their work better. And when I first started out, I did have some people tell me about, polishing my work, getting it better, making sure there were no errors and stuff when I sent it out. Because sometimes in the early days, when I first started, when I was right out of college, I remember one time I sent out a script and I had a lot of spelling errors in it. And this was the days before spelling in word processor, spell check. So that really helped me. That opened my eyes to pay attention to what I was sending out. When you send someone a script or you send someone a treatment, you want to make sure there's no spelling errors. It might seem minor, but you want to seem professional. You want to seem on top of your game, and you want to take this career that you're trying to get into seriously. So one of the first things is to make sure, just basically, you don't have any spelling errors. And that is one of the first benefits I ever got from networking. The person who did it went through with a red pen and corrected all the spelling errors I had. And it was embarrassing, but it was really eye-opening to pay attention to what you're doing. Don't try to rush through it, And then when spell check came out and, the world changed for me, I didn't have to worry about being the greatest speller anymore. So I was very thankful for that. But networking, don't seem desperate. Don't seem like you're going to be a problem if they don't help you. You want to build relationships. Relationships are the way you really build a network. You get to know someone. I know sometimes you're thinking, oh, that's going to take too long. How can I build a relationship with this person? It doesn't happen overnight. And sometimes you may not be able to build a relationship with someone. As far as acting goes, they always tell actors to try to build a relationship with casting directors. And nowadays it's a little bit easier. You can send emails, you can send information about yourself and reach these people easier, and talk to people. Comment on what they're commenting about. Look at what and really be interested. Don't fake interest. Look at what they're talking about, maybe on their blog or maybe on their Facebook page. And if something strikes you, if some kind of connection to you, reach out with that, little by little. Try with a few people. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So try networking with a few people who are in the field that you're interested in. People who may be on the same level as you. People who may be above you, are above you as far as career goes. They've been doing this for 30 years or doing this for 20 years or doing this for 10 years. You want to reach out to people above you. You want to go to people who are doing what you're doing. You want to network with people who are on the same level as you. That's one of the things coming up on the list. So remember, you want to build relationship. You don't want to come off as desperate and needy and, oh, this person's going to be a problem. Always lead with curiosity. Don't just lead with your resume. Oh, here's my photo and resume. Can you please look at it and see if you have any projects for me? No, people don't want to hear that. People in the business, any business, it could be construction business. It can be in the computer business, electronic business, entertainment business. Again, it kind of leads back to building relationship with people. Be curious about what they're doing. And nowadays it's much more easier to find out what these people that you want to build a relationship are interested in. People put all their information online, where they're going on trips, what they're doing, they write articles, they may write stories, they may like things that they post on their site. So show a common interest and be truly interested. Don't just plan a scheme that you're going to pretend that you're interested in this. If there is something you can find in connection, and most of the time there always is something with another person who maybe is in the field you want to be in, who's doing the work that you want to do, something that you have in common. It could be something very slight, it could be something big. So be curious and lead with curiosity, not just with your photo and resume or your resume and give me a job, I need a job. Don't pitch yourself at a party. If you're invited to an event, maybe with your company or maybe with some friends, and you're excited because people you've been trying to reach, people you want to be in contact with, people who are doing what you want to do are going to be at this party, don't go there and try to pitch them your idea or your story or your script or your new business technique, way of doing business, unless they bring it up. But don't go there and be the person that brings work to a party, to a social event, at someone's wedding, at someone's birthday. Now if the person comes up to you and starts talking about it, then great, they open the door for you and you can talk about it. But don't you be the person that goes in and, I'd like to make an announcement. Anyone here looking to hire a new electrical engineer? I just graduated. I have my resume and my cards. I can pass those. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. Don't go and try to turn a social event into a business event. So keep that in mind. If someone pulls you to the side and they talk to you or they bring it up, you can interject yourself in that case. The door's open. But don't be obnoxious. Don't be obnoxious when you're trying to network. Be a giver, not just someone looking to get something. Be a giver. If you're at an event or you're at work, help people. Help people. Make yourself available. Give people resources. If you hear somebody struggling and they're talking about something, and if you can help in some kind of way, help. Reach out. Be a person that people want to be around, that tries to help other people. That's a great way to open the door for people to want to help you. If you're helping people, I don't mean push yourself on people. Don't push yourself. That can get irritating also. But be a person that's a resource, who has resources, willing to go the little extra mile to help someone out. And maybe the person you helped out might not be the person you're trying to network with. But if you build your personality to someone who's a giver, to someone who's available to help, that's a great way to position yourself for networking. People to get to know you, people getting to want to talk to you, people thinking you're someone who is helpful in general. It doesn't have to be, remember, it doesn't have to always directly relate to what you're trying to network in. Get out there, open yourself up, talk to people, see what's going on in their lives. If there's some kind of way you can help. You can be the person that helps someone, even though you may still need help with your endeavors or your desire of where you want to move your career. Start helping people. Give, as they say, give a little, give a little. Be a giver, not just someone looking to receive. Also, Network with people who are on your level, like a group of, for instance, a group of actors who, are all working together, who are all in the same level. Network and build your relationships together. Don't always just try to go for the top person. Network with people who are on that same level. Sometimes they can refer you. Sometimes they may get a referral or an ask for someone who does this or someone who does that, and that may be you. So you want to network with as many people that are on your level, who are all working towards the same goal. Don't feel that they're your competition, because no matter how close to the type of person, now I'm referring to the acting business, no matter how close you are to that type of person and their type is the same as yours, you're unique. You are both unique. You're not exactly alike. You may be similar, but you're not exactly alike. So don't feel that this person is my rival. I have to compete against them. I remember many times I've walked into a casting room in the past when there were a lot of open castings, and you'd walk into the room and there'd be literally 15 or 20 guys that look exactly similar to me. Some of them could even have been my brother. So you're going to face that, but you have to get your mindset that there's something about you that's unique, because you are a unique individual. No matter how similar a person may be to you, they're not exactly you. They may be better than you. You may be better than them as far as whatever the talent goes, whatever the skill is. But don't treat the other people striving towards the goal for you as your enemy, and you have to take them down. That's not the way to network. You want to network. You want to build a community of people working towards a goal. Sometimes you can help someone. Sometimes someone may help you. I remember one of the first people who helped me when I was here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, as an actor, was a fellow actor. He was a different type than me. He was a Caucasian male around my same age. We were in a project together. And he did it out of nowhere. He said, "I want to introduce you to my agent." And he had a pretty good mid-level agent. And he said, "Give me your number and contact information, and I will make sure my agent calls you." And he followed through. The next week, the agent called me. I went in and met the agent. The agent signed me, and that's how I got some of my earliest work in the union. But you can help people. If you can help someone, help them. If you have something that you can offer to people, help them. That will be returned. It might not be returned right away. It might not be returned, but help people, and I bet things will come your way where someone will help you. So don't think of networking as a one-way street. You may not have any fame or fortune, but there might be something you can do for someone. Be a giver. Ditch that elevator pitch. I know people tell you if you have a script, and this is geared more towards writers, if you have a script or a television pilot idea, you want to have that elevator pitch down where you can say it in 1 or 2 sentences. And that's true. But don't approach people talking like, your elevator pitch. Oh, there's a story of so-and-so who does this and he does that and he does this, boom. Be a person. Talk to people. See if they're interested. Read the room. See if they're interested in hearing your ideas. Don't just go up to someone and start pitching your idea. People in the business, they don't like that. You need to ease your way into those situations. I can't tell you the exact way to do it, but you have to read the room and you have to see how receptive the person is to your ideas. You may walk up and talk to someone, "Hi, how you doing?" And they say, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" And blah, 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 blah. You guys having some small talk. How's the weather? I went to the beach the other day, that kind of thing. And they may come around to the point where they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And there's your slight little door. Don't bombard them. Don't come right out the bat with your elevator pitch. "Oh yeah, I got this script. I'm a writer and I got this script. I'd like you to read it. It's about so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so does this." And it's a combination of the end of the world and time travel mixed together. Don't talk like a LinkedIn ad. Talk like a person, like a real person. People appreciate that. People want to have conversations and they want to deal with people who are normal, who are relaxed and calm and approachable, and just a normal person. If you get asked about your career or your goals, then that door is open, and you may ask them, and then they may just, you can tell by their response if there's something they don't want to talk about, So don't try to force people either. Because a lot of times people don't want to talk business because they have so many people coming to them only wanting to talk about business. The only reason they want to approach them and meet them is so they can pitch them their idea. So if you're the kind of person who they can feel relaxed around, They may be willing to help you down the road on their timeline, not your timeline. I work with my video production business, and I work with a lot of executives, high level, successful people in their fields. And I just act like a normal guy. I don't try to pitch them ideas or try to get them to invest in anything. And one of my closest friends, over the years, we lost touch, but one of my closest friends over the years was an executive with the Red Cross and with a number of agencies. And we have been friends. We met in a business relationship, but we became kind of friends. And he once told me that he looks forward to me coming around because I'm just a regular guy. And that's what most people, they're just a regular people. You know, they may have some level of success that you want to reach, but bottom line is they're regular people, and they appreciate people when they act like regular people around them. So that's what I normally do. You know, no matter what the level of the individual is, I treat them like a normal person. So that's how you have to get into that mindset. I know sometimes it may be difficult when you are striving, you have goals that you want to reach, and you're working towards those goals. And then all of a sudden there's that opportunity, somebody that may be able to help you, and you want to jump on it because you may know that you won't see them again. Try to ease into it. Be relaxed, be yourself, be normal. People respond more to that than someone coming at them with desperation or waving their resume or their business card. So remember that. Be normal. Don't be weird about no. Sometimes you will get a no. And I know a lot of people have that saying, I don't take no for an answer. Sometimes you will get a no, and no will be the answer. That means let's find another way. Let's find someone else. Let's find another way to get what I want, to get to my goal. This person can't help me. I understand it. No hard feelings. Don't get mad and angry. Sometimes people can't help other people. They, whatever the reason is. Honestly, I was going to go into some reasons, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes a no is a no. And that means, okay, let me find another way. Let me do it a different way. Let me go to this person. Let me go to that person. You get a lot of no's. In the entertainment business, you get a lot of no's. You have to build up a thick skin and understand that every opportunity is not going to be yours. You're not going to win every opportunity, especially in casting. You're going to get so many no's, you're going to get sick of it. But you got to keep going. You got to keep going forward. Don't let that one no stop you. Find another door. Find another way. And another thing I always tell people, all kinds of fields, no matter what the field is, be prepared. Have more content ready. Let's talk about in the entertainment business. Say if you're a writer, don't just have that one script. Have log lines of ideas, log lines of completed scripts. Have completed scripts ready. Have summaries ready. Have other ideas. Sometimes you may get into a situation where someone likes a potential project you have, and then for some other reason they say, well, I like this, and that got you into this meeting, but what else do you have? You have to have stuff. You have to have content. You have to be ready. So make sure that whatever project you had, maybe your baby, you may have worked on it for 10 years and, this is my ticket in, have more stuff, because that might not be the ticket for the person who's giving you the opportunity, and you got into the room and you're ready to go and you're ready to pitch it, and you know that this is going to be the one that's going to shoot you where you want to go, and it doesn't. And then they ask you, what else do you have? We love that, but what else do you have? You have to have more ideas. You can't just have one idea. Can't have just one script. You can't just have one style of acting. You can't just have one painting. You can't have just one song. Even in the business world, if people bring you in and you do something with computers and you have an idea to pitch a piece of software, you can't just have one. You have to have multiple ideas. Think of the old shows where they would show Mad Men, for example, where they would show advertising campaigns to potential buyers. They may show them the best stuff first, but they also had other stuff sitting in the corner in case they didn't like that. You have to be prepared. Because you don't want to be a person who only has one idea. You want to have multiple ideas, because if you become successful, they're going to expect it. They're going to expect you to be able to do more, follow up. Like you hear singers over the years, as they're saying, one-hit wonders. They had one song. It was a great song, but they only had one. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You want to be prepared with other ideas that It might not be your number one idea. Your number one idea may get shot down by this person. That doesn't mean your number one idea won't go anywhere. That doesn't mean that somebody else might not like your number one idea and they want to help you develop it and they want to pump money into it. But this person's not interested. But they want to hear what else you have, so you have to be prepared. Never, never go into a meeting without a backup plan, without backup content, without backup ideas. I try to drill that into every young writer or producer or director who I meet, who has a great idea and I love it. I love it. You know, I don't have the funding to put behind it, but I tell them, this idea is going to go somewhere if you can get it in front of the right person. But remember, have more ideas ready to go in your back pocket that you can pull out, because you don't want to blow the opportunity. You may not get back into that room. The door may close after that. You may not get back into that particular room. So remember, always be ready with more ideas. I'll see you on the next one.